Polytopians. Got another replay commentary for you today. This is a game I played like, I think a week ago. I'm Cymanti versus Yadakk. So Yadakk plays going for the classic warrior push with the road. I'm going for a very greedy build, just power leveling, no extra units early on. While also exploring with the shaman. This is very greedy, it sometimes does not work out. But I managed to get away with it this game. Now my opponent, he was lucky with a ruin, he got population, that's probably the best thing you can get from a ruin early on in the game. This is on dry lands, so that's unfortunate. His second ruin gave him a completely useless deck, which just wastes his warrior's time. Meanwhile, I'm ahead in leveling, but he's done more exploration than me so far. And this game actually features quite an interesting strategy. I'm not sure if it's a good one, but it's interesting. Right, so he's managed to take his second city slightly faster than me, due to the using roads to speed up his movement. That's something only Yadakk can do. Now I choose to level up with the fungi instead of the fruit because that allows me, the fungi will level up next turn, which will allow me to get a second level. So even though I'm paying slightly more for a level this turn, it will pay off next turn when I get the 5 stars returned. Right, he's just continuing to level his cities nicely. Very nice. Okay, that's a waste of stars. There's no point spending money on a road before you've captured the city. You can just save it or build a warrior or something. Okay, leveling up my second city. Cymanti is... They're not technically an eco tribe because they don't level up in the first turn, but they basically are. And they also have very good resources. Well, they have pretty good resources. Go. He's captured his third city already. Things are looking nice for him. Oh, okay. He's having a problem with his warrior exploration. Going straight down when you could go diagonally and it would reveal more tiles, that just gives you more chance of finding a village. And over here, there was no chance of a village being able to spawn here. They don't spawn up against the edge of the map. So it's a warrior is wasting his time when you should be heading for the closer to the middle first to get contested cities. Even if there was a village back there, you should be heading towards the sides first anyway. Heading towards the middle and then fan out to the sides. And cities in the back that were always going to be yours, they're the last ones you should take. So that's a bit of a mistake on his part. Gotta get climbing because I'm going to need the tech eventually. I didn't want to walk into his territory and lose my shaman, so step back into the mountains. I'm just going to start making hexapods now. They're like riders, they're pretty good. I think riders are slightly better than them, to be honest. But they can be good as well. They're just glass cannon units. Okay, so he's also getting riding out now. I'm continuing to do exploration. I'm getting my third city quite late. And it's going to be quite an expensive level up because I had to buy the fungi. Actually, I didn't have to, but the earlier you get them, the sooner they pay off because it takes a couple of turns for them to give you 3 population. Alright, so I was hoping he would move forward with his warrior, so I left the shaman there so I can mind control it next turn. I thought he was going to build another warrior and rode it forward to kill my shaman, so I was expecting the shaman to die after it did the mind control. But he didn't end up doing that. So he's having a weird exploration pattern with the warrior. It really should be going further out that way. Okay, there. Managed to get a mind control off. Claiming a couple more ruins. I think I decided to go for this village instead of the ruin. Villages are better. And I want to see if there's a village I can contest in that direction. Okay, doing some more leveling up on my capital. I didn't take expand borders. I only really take expand borders on coastal cities to get, in the case of a late game, to get better customs houses and be able to heal battleships. And over here, I didn't even have the tech to harvest these forests or whatever, so I didn't think it was worth it. I would rather just take the population. Okay, this one. Yes, here it is. This is not a good strategy, I just want to clarify. However, it is very fun. And I think this guy was just having a... I'm not sure if he was serious. He probably wasn't serious. Nobody's serious about a night rush. So, yep, it cost him pretty much all his income, and he's only able to train 1 unit now because of that. And also not able to like tech up all level cities. So you sacrifice everything to get knights out. And since they're nerfed, they're not even really... I mean, they're still good. You sacrifice so much. It's just not... It's not a valid strategy to run. Okay, I'm claiming my 4th city. Then level up with fungi to start getting it closer to the next level. Then I'm going to use the monument to get the resources. Always nice to get those extra 5 stars. And then start buying hexapods. I really should have moved that shaman back, but because any number of units could have moved forward and killed the shaman. He was just very vulnerable there. But he managed to move and get a few kills. And you think that, okay, that's good, that knight got a lot of value, it killed a bunch of stuff, but he sacrificed everything for that. And he didn't kill everything I had, so it's not worth it. Okay, there. Yeah, okay, he's just leveling, that's good. This guy was pretty good with the level. Apart from the fact that he went for knights, he played this game completely standard. It was good play all around. This is really just a showcase that how bad a Night Rush is. Because other than that, he played a good game. Apart from that, I should have moved in with the warrior first, not the hexapod. Then I could have finished him off with the hexapod and kept the warrior in the city. So it ended up just letting that warrior live for that. Okay, I'm going to start sieging the city next turn. I expected, since he has the high firepower knights out, he'd probably be able to break the siege. But cutting off the income by just standing on a city is always worth it. And I'm trying to fan out in this direction to see how much of that territory he's already claimed. Because I was actually quite confused about where he's spawned, given his limited map presence. But it turns out it was just because he had a strange exploration pattern. Okay, I'm going to continue to level my cities. I should have really gone for that ruin earlier. Just built a hexapod out of any of the cities, could have just hopped on there. So I really should have already claimed that. There's no point not doing it. Okay, well, all he was able to train with one knight, and that wasn't able to break the siege. Okay, he managed to afford 2 on that turn. But you can see he's not teching up. There's no growth happening. So if the first knights don't win him the game, then continuing to produce knights is not going to win the game either. So his strategy is not really doing anything for him. Okay, and now I'm starting to get these big guys out. I think in comparison to a giant, on land they're comparable. Obviously the giants are the best super unit because they can become giant battleships. But on dry lands, these things are much more powerful for rushing. Being able to like move 2 tiles and move and attack makes them a much more aggressive unit, and it's very hard for non-eco tribes to deal with them. And the non-turn 0 tribes have a very hard time if they can't get giants out themselves to defend. So Cymanti is definitely probably a higher tier tribe than Yadakk to begin with. But also Yadakk does pretty well on dry land, so if he had played more standard, this would have probably been a very close game. Okay, I think I just wanted to save some stars now that fighting's happening, so I didn't really level up with the fungi. This is a bit weird. That was 10 stars to just increase my stars by 1. I wasn't able to like get the super unit out, so I'm not actually sure that was worth it. He's continuing his knight aggression, but I knew that he had to sacrifice a lot to do this, so I wasn't really too worried. I was just continuing to like power up my economy. Even if he's sieging a couple cities, I'll be able to free that one. That one doesn't really matter that much. So at this point I was pretty confident in my position. Just continuing to explore. I got a useless tech from a ruin. That happens a lot on dry lands, which there's an entire tech path that is completely useless. And I'm just getting ready to break that siege. Also, I decided Scorched Earth policy time to destroy all the resources in the city, so he can't level it up. Although he actually still can level it up because he can use a road and go through. And also, I'm taking it back anyway, so that was a complete waste. I just like doing it. It's funny to just ruin a city out of spite when your opponent's taking it. And I'm continuing the hexapods. Yeah, knights are quite good against these super units because they can eat the chains. Oh, but only if they can get behind them. Right. Yeah, okay, you can see his weird exploration. He went around the edge. That warrior's just been wandering around for a few turns now. If he had made a beeline this way, it probably... There's a city right there, and it would have been able to... He would already have it by now if he had actually taken a more streamlined path with that warrior. So his early game movements and leveling were fine, but later on, teching into knights and having a strange exploration pattern has really kind of screwed him over this game. Alright, I'm continuing to move in. Now that I've taken this center area, like, At this point, I have a lot of map. There isn't a lot of opportunity for a comeback at this point. I think it was really over the moment he bought Night Tech and then didn't win with him within 5 turns. I would say at that point you're in a pretty bad position. So yeah, over here, I didn't think that the fun guy would take 3 turns to get any value out of it, whereas I could just pay less money and have a giant out now. So I was like, so I just ended up not using that. Fun guy. The good thing about fun guy though is you create them. Not only do they serve as a defense for the city by poisoning enemies that stand on them, but when you end up spawning a lot of them in a city you attack, so that after you move forward, you capture a city, all the units that died there create fungi in it, and you can get a whole, you can level up more than another tribe could have before, while they were holding a city. So Cymanti has a lot of growth, and they get growth by capture. They gain more levels just by fighting, which makes them snowball pretty hard, I think. Okay, I'm just continuing to level as you always should. Just keep leveling. I'm trying to be careful not to group all my units too close together because I know there's so many knights out. Although this was a bit of a mistake, he's able to kill 2 hexapods. The thing that really makes knights not viable to rush is the fact that they can't kill a warrior with a defense bonus. If they were able to do that, they would actually be a viable unit to rush. But then they'd probably be pretty overpowered as well, if that was the case. And, oh, yeah, okay. It's true. I think hexapods would be better than riders if Cymanti had roads, but since they don't, riders just zone them out later on. So but the fact they can one-shot knights is kind of crazy for a 3-star unit. Okay, he should already have the city if his exploration pattern had been better, but he doesn't. So at this point, the game is pretty much over. All I have to do is just close in and take the cities. I'm continuing to level up, taking the map. Just keep leveling. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna skip to the end. Yeah, as you can see right there. Okay, yeah, a few turns later, I was so, I mean, this shows, like, every aspect of this game is important. Like, you can have good leveling, you can have good early game levelings, and you can have good exploration in the early game. But if you don't buy useful techs, like rushing, I would say there's no tier 3 tech that's worth rushing. You should go for like more stable. Like riders would have served him so much better. Riders, yeah. You would think that Yadakk could get to bypass riders because they already have roads, but that's not the case. Yadakk is one of the tribes which utilizes riders the best, so you should never skip riders. I mean, obviously he still had to buy the rider tech to get knights, so he should have just stuck with those, done more leveling, had better exploration, and this would have been a much closer game. But it was still fun, and it is fun to just do funny like rush strategies sometimes. I think I did a Omachi night rush at one point. That was quite fun. Alright, peace out, Polytopians.